Chosen one. Have you ever felt that your struggles run deeper, more intense, more mysterious than those around you? Do you ever wonder why your pain carries such weight, as if you're walking a path no one else can truly understand? There's a reason for that. What you might not yet know is that you could belong to a rare and powerful group of empaths known as Hyoka Empaths. If the term is unfamiliar, you're not alone. Many Hyoka Empaths go through life unaware of their true identity, sensing only that they are different. They're deeply in tune with the emotions and energies around them, often misunderstood, even by those closest to them. The word Hyoka, also spelled Hoka, holds deep spiritual significance in various traditions, especially among Native American cultures. Originating from the Lakota language, it refers to the sacred clown, a unique figure whose role is to challenge, heal, and awaken others through paradox, humor, and emotional truth. But a Hyoka is no ordinary empath. While traditional empaths sense or absorb the feelings of others, Hyoka empaths embody those emotions at a visceral level. They don't just feel what others are going through, they mirror it, carry it, and often transform it. They act as emotional conduits, silently taking in the unspoken pain of others and turning it into healing, wisdom, and insight. The power and complexity of a Hyoka empath. Walking the path of a Hyoka is both a sacred gift and a heavy responsibility. Those who carry this energy often feel set apart, marked by their intensity, their sensitivity, and their ability to stir awakening in others. But that uniqueness is not a flaw, it's a sign of purpose. You weren't meant to blend in, you were meant to heal, to challenge, to awaken, and to rise. Unparalleled sensitivity. Hyokas are highly attuned to the emotions and energies surrounding them. However, unlike other empaths who may passively absorb energy, Hyokas process it in a way that often amplifies emotions within themselves. This makes their experiences intense and overwhelming, yet it also grants them the ability to guide others toward deeper self-awareness. Challengers of the status quo. One of the defining characteristics of a Hyoka empath is their contrarian nature. They instinctively challenge societal norms, rules, and expectations. They don't conform for the sake of fitting in. Instead, they push boundaries, question rigid belief systems, and force others to view reality from a different lens. This may cause discomfort, but it also leads to growth and transformation. The healing through reflection. A Hoka doesn't heal in the way a traditional healer does. Instead, they mirror emotions and behaviors in a way that forces others to see their own wounds and subconscious patterns. Sometimes this comes through laughter, paradoxical actions, or unexpected wisdom. Their mere presence can act as a catalyst for awakening in those who are ready to face their inner truth. But the journey of a Hyoka empath is not an easy one. Carrying the emotional weight of others, standing in constant opposition to societal conditioning, and walking the road less traveled can lead to immense personal struggles. Their heightened perception of reality often makes them feel like outsiders, misunderstood, mislabeled, and even rejected by those who are not yet ready to face their own shadows. Yet despite these challenges, the role of a Hyoka empath is one of profound purpose. Those who encounter them are rarely left unchanged. A true Hyoka is a force of nature, a disruptor, a healer, a mirror, and a guide all in one. But how do you know if you are a Hyoka empath? What are the unmistakable signs that set them apart from other empaths? Are you a Hyoka empath? Recognizing the unmistakable signs. If you've ever felt a deep and unshakable sense of being different, of navigating life with an awareness that few seem to share, you might just be a Hyoka empath. This is not an ordinary path. It is one filled with challenges, revelations, and a profound sense of purpose. Stay with me until the end, because as we explore these signs, you may find yourself resonating with truths about your own nature that you've always felt but never fully understood. 1. The loneliness of a Hyoka empath. A life on the outside looking in. One of the most defining and inescapable signs of being a Hyoka empath is the persistent feeling of loneliness and isolation. This isn't just a passing emotion, it's a state of existence, a deep knowing that you are somehow set apart from the rest of the world. But why does this happen? A Hyoka empath perceives reality through an extraordinary lens, one that is far more intuitive, insightful, and emotionally sensitive than the average person's. They don't just see the world, They feel it in ways that most people can't even begin to imagine. Every emotion, every subtle shift in energy, every hidden truth that lingers beneath the surface, Hyokas absorb it all. And because of this, they often find themselves unable to fully connect with those around them. While others may engage in surface-level conversations and interactions, a Hyoka craves depth, truth, and authenticity. They long for genuine soul connections, yet they are frequently surrounded by people who are unaware, emotionally disconnected, or unwilling to look beyond the superficial layers of existence. This disconnect creates an overwhelming sense of loneliness. Even in a crowded room, Hyokas often feel like outsiders, like strangers in their own communities and families. They are present yet unseen, surrounded yet deeply alone. What makes this even more difficult is that their unique energy and perspective often set them apart from societal norms. They don't conform, they don't blindly follow. They question, challenge, and disrupt. This resistance to the status quo can cause others to view them as too intense, too different, too unpredictable, leading to further social isolation. Hyokas may find that people either admire them or avoid them entirely. There is rarely an in-between. They often feel like they are too much for others, leading them to withdraw from social situations. They instinctively sense when someone is being fake, manipulative, or inauthentic, making shallow relationships intolerable for them. But this isolation, though painful, serves a purpose. It is not a punishment. It is a sign that you are meant for something greater. The curse of being misunderstood, why no one gets you. If you are a Hyoka empath, there's a strong chance you've spent your entire life feeling misunderstood. This is not just a passing frustration. It is a deep and painful reality that shapes the way you interact with the world. Because you experience emotions, energy, and intuitive insights on a completely different level, your thoughts and behaviors may seem contradictory or confusing to those around you. People don't understand why you act the way you do, why you feel things so deeply, or why you challenge ideas that everyone else accepts without question. You say things that others don't expect. You react in ways that defy social norms. You sense things that others don't even notice. To the outside world, this can make you seem strange, rebellious, or even difficult. But in reality, this is simply your Hyoka nature at work. A Hyoka empath does not just absorb emotions passively, they reflect them back at others, acting as a living mirror. This means that when someone interacts with a Hyoka, they are often confronted with their own unresolved emotions, fears, and inner conflicts. This can be extremely uncomfortable for people who are not ready to face themselves. As a result, instead of recognizing a Hyoka's true purpose, many people may label them as unpredictable or disruptive because their presence stirs emotions people would rather avoid, misinterpret their actions and words because they operate on a frequency that others are not attuned to, distance themselves because they are not ready to embrace the deep truths that a Hyoka empath exposes. This misunderstanding can make a Hyoka feel like an enigma, even to themselves. They may question their own sanity at times, wondering why their experiences and perceptions seem to be vastly different from everyone else's. Why do I see things that others don't? Why do people react to me in such extreme ways? Why do I feel like I don't belong anywhere? But here's the truth. You are not broken. You are not too much. You are simply operating on a higher level of perception, one that most people cannot yet comprehend. You are here to awaken others, not to fit in. So if you've ever felt lonely, if you've ever felt misunderstood, know this: these are not signs of weakness. They are signs of who you truly are. You are a Hyoka empath, and your purpose is far greater than you realize. The journey continues now that we've explored two of the most profound signs of being a Hyoka empath. The question remains, what other traits set a Hyoka apart? How does this unique energy influence the way they love, heal, and navigate the world? The silent struggle, feeling alienated and unseen for a Hyoka empath. One of the most challenging aspects of their journey is the persistent sense of alienation, the feeling that no matter where they go, they never quite belong. This sense of being an outsider doesn't necessarily come from a lack of people around them, but rather from a deep realization that their true selves are not fully recognized, understood, or valued. Imagine walking through life with a heart so open, so sensitive to the energies and emotions of others, yet feeling as though the world is blind to your depth. Hyokas experience this every single day. They speak, but people don't truly listen. They express their feelings, but they are often dismissed or misinterpreted. They share their profound insights, but they are met with confusion rather than appreciation. This creates an ongoing struggle in social settings. Hyokas long for meaningful conversations, yet they often find themselves surrounded by surface-level interactions. They crave depth, truth, and authenticity, but they live in a world that frequently prioritizes illusion, distraction, and superficiality. The result, a frustrating communication gap, one that makes them feel out of sync with the people around them. They may try to explain their emotions, share their intuitive insights, or express their perspectives, but often it feels like speaking a language that no one else understands. And so many Hyokas learn to withdraw into themselves, carrying their thoughts and emotions in silence, feeling as if the world simply isn't ready for their level of awareness. But this loneliness, this isolation, it is not proof that something is wrong with them. It is a reflection of their depth in a world that often fears the truth. The emotional intensity of a Hyoka empath, feeling everything all at once among all the traits that define a Hyoka empath. Perhaps the most overwhelming and profound is their ability to feel emotions with unmatched intensity. While ordinary empaths can sense the emotions of others, Hyokas don't just feel emotions, they embody them. When someone near them is joyful, they feel that joy surge through their own heart as if it were their own. When someone is hurting, they absorb that pain so deeply that it becomes almost indistinguishable from their own suffering. When they witness an act of kindness, they are moved beyond words, their souls vibrating with the beauty of human connection. But this heightened emotional sensitivity comes at a cost. Because Hyokas feel everything at an amplified level, their emotions can rise to euphoric highs or plunge into unbearable depths within moments. They don't just experience happiness. They feel an overwhelming, almost divine sense of ecstasy and elation. They don't just feel sadness. They endure a soul-crushing sorrow that seems to have no end. They may find themselves crying over things that others consider trivial. They may feel waves of nostalgia, grief, or excitement seemingly out of nowhere. They may experience overwhelming joy, a deep connection to nature, or a profound sense of loss, all in a single day. This can make ordinary experiences feel extraordinary, but it can also make daily life exhausting. Being in crowded places can feel overwhelming as they absorb the emotions of everyone around them. Engaging in shallow conversations can feel unbearable because they long for something more. Trying to explain what they feel can be frustrating because words often fail to capture the depth of their emotions. This emotional intensity is both a blessing and a burden. On one hand, it allows Hyokas to be incredibly compassionate, deeply intuitive, and let me know if you'd like the next section punctuate profoundly connected to others. On the other hand, it can be draining, leaving them feeling emotionally exhausted, misunderstood, and burdened by the weight of emotions that aren't even their own. To navigate this, many Hyoka empaths turn to solitude as a form of self-preservation. They may prefer to be alone in nature, where the energy is calm and healing. They may need long periods of rest after social interactions, as if recharging from an emotional storm. They may engage in art, writing, or music, using creative expression as a way to process their emotions. But through all of this, one thing remains clear: Hyokas are emotional warriors. They are not weak because they feel deeply. They are powerful because they dare to embrace emotions that others run from. The mystery of synchronicities. When the universe speaks to a Hyoka, there is another undeniable sign that marks a Hyoka empath: their extraordinary connection to synchronicities. If you've ever felt like certain events in your life happen too perfectly to be mere coincidence, you might just be a Hyoka. Synchronicities are meaningful coincidences, events that seem random but hold deep spiritual significance. They are signs, whispers from the universe guiding us toward our path. For Hyoka empaths, these synchronicities are not rare occurrences. They are a way of life, seeing repeating numbers, 111, 222, 333, etc., constantly as if the universe is trying to send a message. Thinking of someone right before they call or message you, meeting a stranger who says exactly what you needed to hear at that moment. experiencing perfect timing, situations unfolding in ways that seem orchestrated by something greater, noticing patterns in the world that others overlook, hidden connections between people, events, and energies. To the Hyoka Empath, synchronicities are not just coincidences, they are confirmations. They remind the Heyoka that they are on the right path. They are being guided, even when they feel lost. They are connected to something far greater than themselves. These synchronicities serve as cosmic breadcrumbs, leading Heyokas toward their life purpose. Every chance encounter, every repeated sign, every intuitive knowing is a piece of a larger puzzle, a puzzle that only they can fully understand. But this level of awareness can also be isolating. Many Heyokas try to share their experiences with others, only to be met with skepticism, doubt, or dismissal. People may say, "You're imagining things," or "That's just a coincidence." But the Hyoka Empath knows better. They feel the truth in their bones. They sense the patterns hidden beneath the surface. They know that the universe speaks in whispers, and only a few are truly listening. The path of a Heyoka, a journey unlike any other. By now you may have begun to recognize yourself in these words. Perhaps you've always sensed that you were different. Perhaps you've struggled with loneliness, emotional intensity, and a connection to unseen forces that others cannot comprehend. If so, then know this: you are not alone. You are a Hyoka Empath, a rare soul with a sacred mission to challenge, to heal, and to awaken others. But this is only the beginning. There are more signs, more revelations, and deeper truths about the Hyoka Empath that we have yet to explore. The profound connection between Hyoka Empaths and synchronicities. For a Hyoka Empath, synchronicities are not mere coincidences. They are sacred messages woven into the fabric of their existence. These mystical occurrences are a direct reflection of their strong spiritual alignment, a sign that they are deeply connected to the divine flow of the universe. Unlike the average person who may dismiss synchronicities as chance happenings, Hyokas recognize them for what they truly are: powerful affirmations, cosmic signals, and divine guidance meant specifically for them. This heightened awareness allows Hyokas to navigate life with an innate sense of direction and purpose, as they instinctively trust the signs that appear along their path. But why do these synchronicities happen so frequently for Hyoka Empaths? The answer lies in their extraordinary sensitivity to energy. They are not just passive observers of the world, they are deeply attuned to the unseen forces that shape reality. They sense the hidden patterns, the interconnected threads, and the underlying synchronicities that guide their journey. The purpose of synchronicities in a Hyoka's life. Synchronicities often appear at pivotal moments in a Hyoka's life, particularly during times of uncertainty, decision-making, or spiritual awakening. These signs serve as beacons of clarity, reassuring them that they are on the right path and encouraging them to trust their intuition. Making life-altering choices. When a Hyoka finds themselves at a crossroads, synchronicities can provide the guidance they need. Whether it's seeing repeating numbers like 1111, 222, or 777, encountering a specific word or symbol repeatedly, or meeting the right person at the perfect time, these are all signs urging them toward alignment with their higher purpose. Meeting people who change their lives. Hyokas often attract soul connections through synchronicities, people who enter their lives at the exact moment they need them most. This could be a mentor, a friend, a soulmate, or even a stranger who delivers a message that profoundly shifts their perspective. Receiving unexpected opportunities just when they feel lost or uncertain, a Hyoka might stumble upon an opportunity that seems tailor-made for them. Whether it's a new job, a chance encounter, or an invitation to something life-changing, these events happen with divine precision. Recognizing patterns that others overlook, the Hyoka's mind operates on a different wavelength, constantly picking up subtle clues and hidden meanings in everyday life. They see connections where others see randomness. Their ability to interpret synchronicities guides them toward the right decisions, relationships, and experiences. But this deep attunement to the universe comes with its own set of challenges. The emotional roller coaster of a Hyoka Empath. Because Hyokas are highly sensitive to energies, they experience rapid and intense shifts in their emotional state. These fluctuations can be incredibly difficult to manage, as they often don't realize whether the emotions they are feeling belong to them or to someone else. A Hyoka empath is like an emotional sponge, absorbing the energies of everyone they come into contact with. They might enter a room feeling perfectly fine, only to be consumed by anxiety, sadness, or tension moments later without knowing why. They could be having a joyful day, only to suddenly feel overwhelmed with sorrow after crossing paths with someone who is silently suffering. They may experience sudden bursts of excitement, inspiration, or even deep exhaustion for no apparent reason, because they are constantly processing the emotional vibrations of their surroundings. This extreme emotional sensitivity makes Hyokas incredibly compassionate and understanding, but it also makes daily life overwhelming. The shift between emotional extremes, Hyokas don't just feel emotions, they live through them at an amplified level. Happiness feels like pure ecstasy, radiating through their entire being like an explosion of light. Sadness feels like drowning in an endless ocean, as if the entire world's sorrow has settled into their soul. Love feels transcendent, like a divine force pulling them into a higher state of consciousness. Anger can be overwhelming, burning through them with an intensity that shakes their entire spirit. These mood swings are not random. They are a direct result of their deep connection to the emotional states of others. Because Hyokas mirror the emotions of those around them, their own emotional landscape is constantly shifting. This can make it difficult for them to feel emotionally stable, leading to sudden mood shifts that seem inexplicable. Emotional exhaustion from constantly processing other people's energy. A tendency to withdraw in order to regain emotional balance. Struggles in relationships due to their unpredictable emotional intensity. The Heyoka struggle with emotional overload, one of the greatest internal battles a Hyoka empath faces is learning how to separate their emotions from those they absorb. Because they feel so deeply, they may find it hard to distinguish, is this my sadness or am I picking up on someone else's pain? Am I truly angry or is this energy from the room affecting me? Why do I feel so drained after spending time with certain people? This confusion can be mentally and emotionally exhausting. Many Hayas struggle with emotional burnout, chronic fatigue, and even depression simply because they are carrying too much emotional weight that does not belong to them. Without proper energy management, Hayas can become drained and overwhelmed by constant emotional shifts, prone to anxiety, restlessness, and chronic stress, vulnerable to toxic people who drain their energy, mentally exhausted from processing everyone else's emotions. But here's the truth, Hayas are not powerless against this emotional chaos. By learning energy protection techniques, grounding methods, and setting boundaries, they can harness their abilities rather than be consumed by them. The Hyoka path to balance and mastery. Hyas are not just empaths. They are divine healers, energy mirrors, and spiritual disruptors who walk a path unlike any other. But their greatest challenge is learning how to protect their own energy while embracing their powerful gift. To thrive as a Hyoka, they must learn how to distinguish their emotions from the ones they absorb, how to ground themselves so they don't get lost in emotional waves, how to set boundaries so they are not emotionally drained by others, how to channel their gift into something that benefits them rather than depletes them. Hyas are meant to awaken, heal, and transform those around them. But they must first learn how to navigate their own energy before they can truly embrace their mission. The journey of a Hyoka, what comes next? If you've made it this far, it's likely that you resonate with the Hyoka path. You've seen the signs, you've felt the depth of your emotions, experienced the weight of your isolation, and noticed the synchronicities that pull you towards something greater. But what does this all mean for you? How can you step into your power, embrace your Hyoka nature, and use it to transform your life? The silent struggle of emotional expression in Hyoka empaths. For a Hyoka empath, one of the greatest challenges they face is expressing their emotions in a way that others can truly understand. Their emotions are not just simple feelings, they are deep, intense, and multifaceted experiences that often go beyond what words can capture. But when they try to explain what they are feeling, they may find that people don't quite grasp the magnitude of their emotions. This can lead to frustration, misunderstandings, and a profound sense of isolation. Why can't I explain what I feel? Why do people look at me like I'm exaggerating? Why does it feel like no one understands the depth of what I'm experiencing? The reason for this struggle is deeply connected to their unique empathic nature. Unlike most people who feel emotions in a linear and controlled way, Hyokas feel everything all at once. Their emotions are layered, intense, and constantly shifting. They are not just experiencing their own feelings, they are also absorbing the emotions of others, often without realizing it. This creates a complex inner world that is difficult to put into words. They may feel a mix of emotions at the same time, joy intertwined with sorrow, excitement laced with anxiety. They may struggle to separate their own emotions from the emotions they've picked up from others. They may experience sudden emotional shifts that even they don't fully understand. Because of this, Hyokas often withdraw into themselves, not because they don't want to connect, but because they don't know how to express what they feel in a way that others will truly understand. The emotional overload, carrying feelings that aren't theirs. Another reason Hyokas struggle with emotional expression is that they absorb the emotions of those around them. Like energetic sponges, they walk into a room and instantly pick up on the tension, sadness, or excitement in the atmosphere. They spend time with a friend who is struggling, and suddenly they feel that same pain deep within themselves. They engage in a conversation with someone pretending to be happy, and yet they can sense the unspoken sorrow beneath the surface. This constant absorption of emotions makes it difficult for Hayes to distinguish between what is truly theirs and what they have picked up from others. They may ask themselves, is this my sadness, or am I feeling someone else's pain? Why do I feel anxious when everything in my life is going well? Why do my emotions change so suddenly, without warning? This emotional confusion makes it nearly impossible for them to verbalize their experiences, because even they are unsure of what they are truly feeling at times. This can lead to frustration, as they feel misunderstood and unable to communicate their needs. It can create distance in relationships, as partners, friends, and family may not fully grasp the depth of their emotional experience. It can cause internal suffering, as Hayes may feel like they are drowning in emotions with no way to express them. But despite this struggle, their emotions are a gift, a powerful force that connects them to higher realms, deeper truths, and profound insights that others may never experience. And one of the ways this connection manifests is through their extraordinary dreams. The dream realm, a gateway to the Hyoka soul. For a Hyoka empath, dreams are not just fleeting nighttime visions, they are powerful messages from the subconscious, the spiritual realm, and the universe itself. Hyokas do not dream the way most people do. Their dreams are vivid, intense, and deeply symbolic, often leaving a lasting impact long after they wake up. They see colors more vividly. They experience emotions so strongly that they wake up feeling them in their body. They encounter symbols, messages, and visions that often come true. Hyoka empaths don't just experience dreams, they live them. Their dreams are immersive, feeling just as real as waking life, filled with deep meaning, prophetic visions, and powerful emotions. They may dream about people they've never met, only to encounter them later in real life. They may receive answers to questions they've been struggling with, as if the universe is guiding them through the dream world. They may experience past life memories, visions of the future, or spiritual encounters with guides, ancestors, or divine beings. The purpose of Hyoka empath dreams. One dreams as a reflection of their emotional world. Because Hyas experience emotions so intensely, their dreams often act as a mirror, helping them process feelings that they struggle to express in waking life. A Hyoka who has been feeling lost may dream of wandering through a mysterious, never-ending forest. A Hyoka who is struggling with emotional overload may dream of drowning in deep waters. A Hyoka who is on the brink of transformation may dream of flying, symbolizing their readiness to ascend to a new level of awareness. Their dreams serve as a bridge between their conscious and subconscious mind, helping them make sense of emotions that they cannot fully articulate. 2. Dreams as a portal to spiritual guidance. Hyokas are deeply connected to the spiritual realm, and their dreams often serve as a direct line of communication with higher forces. They may receive messages from ancestors, spirit guides, or divine beings. They may dream of symbols like a key, a door, a bridge, that hold deeper meaning about their life path. They may wake up with a strong intuitive knowing about something, as if the dream world delivered the exact guidance they needed. For many Hyas, their dreams provide answers to questions they have been struggling with, acting as a form of divine reassurance. 3. Dreams as a sign of precognitive abilities. Many Hyoka empaths experience precognitive dreams, visions of the future that later come true. They may dream of an event, only to see it unfold in real life days or weeks later. They may receive warnings through dreams urging them to take action or avoid a particular path. They may feel a strong connection to past lives, reliving experiences from centuries ago, as if they were happening in the present. This ability to tap into the unseen realms through dreams is one of the most powerful gifts of a Hyoka empath. But it can also be overwhelming. Many Hyas struggle to understand their dreams, often wondering, why do my dreams feel more real than my waking life? Why do I wake up emotionally drained, as if I lived an entirely different life while I slept? Why do I keep seeing the same symbols or scenarios over and over? But these dreams are not random. They are a powerful tool meant to guide them on their journey. The Hyoka journey, embracing the gift, overcoming the challenges. Being a Hyoka empath is not easy. Their emotions are powerful, yet difficult to express. Their connection to others is deep, yet isolating. Their dreams are vivid and meaningful, yet often misunderstood. But these challenges are not burdens. They are signs of a greater calling. Hyokas are not meant to fit into the ordinary world. They are meant to awaken, heal, challenge, and transform. And while their emotions and dreams may sometimes feel overwhelming, they are also their great strength. But what does all of this mean? How can Hyokas harness these gifts without being consumed by them? That's all for today. Dear Father, I pray for the growth of my faith. Help me trust you even when physical evidence is lacking. Let me believe in your perpetual presence, knowing you will never harm me. I understand that your thoughts for me are thoughts of prosperity and not harm, to give me a good future. Thank you, gracious and eternal Father, for always listening to my voice. I offer up this prayer to you in the name of Jesus. Amen. Thank you, Jesus, for your love and provision. I am grateful for your presence in my life and the abundance you bring. If this video resonated with you, please like, subscribe to the channel, and share it with those who need to hear this message. Leave a comment below about your journey and how you are preparing for your own triumphant return. If you'd like to support our work, please consider contributing through Buy Me a Coffee. This helps us continually improve our content to offer you the best. The link to Buy Me a Coffee is in the description. No gift is too small, whether it's a penny, a prayer, or a share. Your generosity helps spread God's word and brings hope to others. Don't stop here. Watch our next video.